A few years ago, the world discovered Ea Natsir. An article by an archaeologist named Christina Kilgrove in Forbes magazine was titled "Meet the Worst Businessman of the 18th Century BC." Kilgrove detailed the financial problems of a merchant, Ea Natsir, who lived in a big house in the city of Ur in what is now Iraq. She made a strong case for his ineptitude, quoting from letters that he had received from unhappy customers, people who were at their wits' end, trying to get him to send products they had been promised or refunds for goods he hadn't delivered. Kilgrove quoted one letter in full. It had been written by a man named Nani, and it reads like an angry diatribe to a complaints department. In the middle of his letter, Nani wrote, "Who am I that you are treating me in this manner, treating me with such contempt? I have written to you to receive my money, but you have neglected to return it." The remarkable thing about this frustrating case of incompetence is that both of the men involved have been dead for many thousands of years. Ea Natsir lived almost 3,800 years ago. Just think how long ago that is. It's hard to wrap your mind around. He lived 2,400 years before the time of Muhammad and the beginning of Islam, 1,300 years even before the founding of the Roman Republic. And yet, as the article showed, we recognize Ea Natsir. He's the vendor who fails to reply to our emails and phone calls. And any of us might have written Nani's letter. We just wouldn't write it in cuneiform script on a clay tablet. The article clearly resonated with readers, and it enjoyed a flurry of interest on social media. Any number of my friends and students sent it to me. Other posts about Ea Natsir appeared, and the long-dead merchant suddenly rose to the top of the news cycle and became, if briefly, a household name. Suddenly, something in my obscure field of expertise made sense to people who had been mystified about what I actually study, about what is written on the clay tablets I write and teach about. But Ea Natsir's file of complaint letters wasn't a new discovery when the article appeared. The tablets were found a century ago, during excavations at the ancient city of Ur in the 1920s, and have been in the British Museum ever since. By the time the Forbes article came out, Ea Natsir had been discussed in at least 20 scholarly articles, the earliest in 1931. Already in 1967, the letter from Nani was translated into English and included in a book called Letters from Mesopotamia. Ea Natsir was well known in the field of Assyriology, but he had escaped public notice, so he seemed to be a revelation. Who would have guessed that someone living so very long ago could have been so incompetent in such an ordinary way? Here's another surprise, though. He was not alone. There were hundreds, maybe thousands of Ea Natsirs. I don't mean that everyone in the ancient Near East was incompetent. Ea Natsir was a standout in that respect, just that they were very human, and cumulatively, they left behind hundreds of thousands of documents to prove it.